on the issues we had last week.
We're live, hold on.
I'd like to call the second meeting of the Nashville Town Council budget to order at this time. Could we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Again, Father, we come to you seeking your guidance, your wisdom, in getting a budget together for the town of Nashville that it's going to be as good as possible for all the citizens. Amen.
Amen.
All right, Manager?
Well, when the last budget meeting, you had asked staff to drop the tax rate from 61 to 59 and effectively take 97,000 of expense out. We have done that, and we have put together a revised proposal. It's got a purple tab on it, and the fifth page of that is the budget summary. And that might be the best place to start. If you can find your new packet with the purple tab on it.
Well,
Mine doesn't have a purple.
Yeah.
That's brown.
Oh,
Any tab.
Tab.
any tab, okay. So we have our funds there, and we were able to take $97,000 out of the expenses, so we could drop that tax rate down to 59. And in the income, it's a little different than the one from the last meeting, but that's because we put a few transfers in as income instead of transfers. It just flowed easier that way. It's really about the same thing, but the far right column for the general fund, we're only going to be dipping into the unrestricted fund balance by the $67,363. And that's down from the previous version that you've seen of this. So other than that, general fund, all of our police and fire and everything we pay out of general fund is all covered. I revised the budget memo a little bit on page 3 and 4. We took a few things out of there that we just, without that 97,000, we weren't going to be able to do anymore. But nothing significant out of that. We're still covering all of our police operations, all of our fire, all of our admin, everything we need to do to continue to provide the same level of service for our citizens as we currently do. It kept in there the employee COLA and pay increases for the public safety and non-public safety employees that we had talked about before. We still have all of our capital improvement projects in there. The splash pad, pickleball courts, and restroom pavilion for Glover Park is in there with that Part F grant. And we have the replacement of some of the water service lines on Washington Street, at least that portion that the DOT is going to overlay through downtown this year. And then we have the extension of sewer service in Regency and Essex Road in there, and that $85,000 study
When
grant.
do you think they're going to get started on that, Randy?
Well, Mike Tolson will be at one of our upcoming council meetings here real soon to review the final plans and specifications and cost estimate with you guys.
Ask me, it's
And
fine.
then we'll bid that out, and then we'll bring the bids back to the council for review. I'm hoping we get started by September or October with that project.
Good.
So I don't recall where we were going kind of budget through budget. Did we get through all the general fund budget at the last meeting?
We had a few pages left.
We got a few pages
We only
left.
had a few left.
We just got a few pages.
Well, maybe you just want to go through and see where we took
That'd be good.
out.
Yeah, what did we take out?
So if you go to page 99, that's the revenues. we reduced,
Hold on, Randy.
Well, that's
hold
good
on.
there, huh?
sorry.
That's your 99, we gotta get, there we go. All right,
Everything we took out or put in is highlighted in yellow there. So we took $97,017 out from dropping that.
91?
99.
I'm sorry, I know,
I don't have
sorry.
anything highlighted.
On 99?
On 99?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up at the top you do the
I got
yellow.
one.
Yeah, that's all that's highlighted on
That's
that
just for
page.
the revenues that they're taking out. We're about to get through all the nitty gritty with the,
Yeah, there was only one change, really, two changes in revenue.
Okay.
Coy upped recreation fees by $2,000. And then we had a fund balance appropriation that we took out of there and we put on the other sheet as showing a transfer.
I got you.
So the registration fees means charging more for registration fees for, no?
More programs.
More programs.
Programs, okay. So projected more income from programs.
Yes. This year to date, we're already at 19, so I feel like 20 for next year.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty much it for revenues until you get to page 10. Then we got our expenses starting on page 104. We put the council wages back to where they are presently. We had an increase in there. We took $250 out of travel and training. Then in the administration budget for advertising, we took that down $200. For equipment under $5,000, we zeroed that out. We had 1,000 in there, we just zeroed that out. I got my new computer. I should have known better than try and start it up when I was trying to put this all together, because it caused.
But at least you got a new one, so that one you had was an antique.
It's still here. Don't quite have the other one all set up yet. But we'll talk nice to it till after today. So then on page 105, that's HR. So we cut $7,900 out of professional services. And Trey, what were those again?
So it was originally 15.9 for the salary study, but we added some back in just because legal fees have been a lot lately. And if you look back to the history, very rarely does that line item come under budget, so.
Employee appreciation, we actually added $450 there to allow us to do
That's good.
one more thing there. The software and data support, we cut $23,222 out of that. What we had proposed to get for new, we're putting that on hold. Page 106 then is finance, full-time salaries there. We brought that down $9,600. Tressa gave up $1,000 on travel and training, and software and data support, we took $5,300 out of there.
We're not gonna get caught into any kind of cybersecurity threat by cutting this.
No, this
Not on
is-
hers.
This was Edmonds, so I had them send me, basically, we pay the same thing every year, and I projected that there was gonna be a slight increase, but she said it wasn't, so
Oh,
when she
okay.
gave me an actual invoice.
Good.
It was able to come down.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, VC3 is the line item where, we pay, and that's a non-departmental, I think. I won't say that somebody can't, but I think we're about as secure as we possibly can for a town our size with the resources we have, not having an in-house IT person. Just knock on wood on that one. For planning then, Sean took 1,000 out for computers and equipment under 5,000, cut 1,000 there. Building maintenance, we took town hall, police, council, library. We had 5,000 in each of those. We cut those all by 1,000. And then building and maintenance at Public Works, that was at 10. We took that down to 5. And then some safety supplies and other, I think the safety was at the ADAs, the automatic defibrillators.
Yes, sir.
We took those out. On police, we went back
Hold on, back up. So the maintenance, is that even realistic?
4,000. Well, if you look at the history, I mean,
Yeah.
we had quite a bit for the council in the library in years past, and it was mainly the water issue problems we had. But now that we put those drain lines, broke up the concrete and put the drain lines and a sump pump here and over there, those have been resolved. We don't have those, and, this has all been repainted. Most of the library's been repainted. The floor in the children's room is, it was bad because it was always wet and all the floor tiles were loose. All that's been taken care of.
And it looks really good back there. Yeah.
Going on police, the separation allowance, we went back and we had, one of our former police chiefs is going to be aging out. So we were able to reduce it a little bit by anticipating when that age out is going to happen. And then Chief Joyner took out $5,000 on vehicle upfits.
Is that gonna put anything in jeopardy? Okay.
No, because what I actually did, I went back and I called one of the vendors. I said, I need an actual cost, not one of your estimates. And they gave me that.
Okay, great.
On fire, then also took $5,000 out of vehicle maintenance. Going to have a new truck and the old one's going to be retired, and we're hoping to have some savings there on maintenance. Then central maintenance, having to come up with quite a bit of money to, what we did, Kevin Taylor is the employee in central maintenance, our mechanic. So he works on everything for stormwater, water, sewer. So
Great.
we are justified in taking half of his salary and moving it to water and sewer, which is what we did there. So we were able to take $42,000 out of that particular general fund budget. And then we cut a few other things, the professional services by $750, supplies down $800, and dues and subscriptions, we took that out altogether. On streets then, we also, dues and subscriptions, we had 910 in there, we took that out. On sanitation, the next one, here's where we found, we were paying 4 people out of sanitation, but we only had wages for 3 in here at the last meeting, so we added back in the 4th one. Took the overtime down $500, and the advertising to $250. Most of what we do now to notify people when we have a holiday change or the routes are going to be a little different is Facebook, social media. And we're not relying as much on the newspaper anymore for that, because a lot of people don't even look for that kind of
I know what you
information.
were advertising sanitation, but I understand now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Randy, while you're on sanitation, update for you or Lee about the individual who had a situation on last week.
Well, Chief, you're probably more up to date on Jalen, aren't you?
He started physical therapy tomorrow. It was a complete amputation of the first knuckle. So he's home resting, probably 4 to 8 weeks before he's able to come out to work.
Okay. But in pretty good spirit.
Oh, yes. He's
Okay.
in pretty good spirits.
And he did have a glove on when that happened, too.
Sure.
Yeah. It just reminds us of the dangers of the environment in which we ask individuals to work in. And with all the protocol and things that we already have in place, it's just a reminder for all of us that we have to be vigilant in that model. So thank you so much for the update. And thank you, Lee, for the leadership with that piece as well, bringing it to our attention on last week.
Contract services, we took that down 1,000. We looked at what we've actually spent for 21, 22, and 23, and there's only a 3.2% increase in that contract. So the 90,000 we had in there was far more than what we were going to realize. So we took that down to 180. And that's the contract with for recycling with GFL. And then dues and subscriptions, we took that one out, that 1137 in there. Parks and Rec, health insurance, we took $8,500 out of there.
Ashley.
Yes, one of our assistant park and rec director has health insurance through her spouse, so we don't have to pay for that.
Oh, okay.
So we took that out. And then computers, all the department heads did. They took a hard look at where they were at with this budget now. And if there was anything in the FY25 they were proposing that they could acquire now, as far as supplies and equipment and stuff, they did that. So we were able to cut in that computer line item in half by using some unspent money so far this fiscal year and procuring something that was proposed for next year now. On the library, Brian went through and took 1,000 out of supplies and 1,500 out of printed materials, and it took special programs down by 500. And then on the cemetery, we had $500 in there for travel and training. We took that out. We didn't spend any of we got for this year. And then on the next page, the non-departmental, we added in 8282 for website. Some of the software that we eliminated was going to help with the website, but since we're not doing that, we had to put it back in so that we can get some enhanced features with our website. And then we had a contingency in there, and I took the contingency out. We have 50,000 in it for this year, and we haven't touched it yet, which is good.
Okay, good.
Anything goes contingency, is that what it's for? I mean, it's,
In the event that something unexpected came up, we had 50,000 in there that we could, the council could choose to use. With that out, if something unexpected comes up, we're most likely just going to have to make a budget amendment and appropriate more money to cover the expense. So that was it for the general fund. We didn't make any changes to Fund 20, which is the MSD. Maybe just a quick update. The MSD, or the Downtown Strong Advisory Board, had a meeting earlier this week. I guess it was, and talked about Christmas decorations. So they're going to purchase 10 new decorations of the 5 that were selected the last time the council and the chamber and the Downtown Strong Advisory Board were together. And that's going to be about $10,000 of their cost. And then the remaining ones will have to come from the general fund. Anyway, I'm going to bring that back to the council for you guys to see that and approve that. We might be able to, in order to get the discounts, I think we have to make that purchase before the end of June, right?
Yes.
End of May.
End of May.
Goes down from 23% discount to 18% discount.
If I talk to them, they'll probably extend that for us through the end of June, I would imagine. They're the company that's in Youngsville.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to say that the hanging baskets, I thought adds a lot to downtown. And going to I don't know when you put the one outside the town hall,
Yesterday.
Yeah, Lee brought that up the other
but
day.
Lee, that looks so inviting. It really adds a warmth to it, and so I appreciate that.
You're welcome. What's next?
And you wouldn't, I mean, that's the same size as the ones hanging on the poles. The one on the poles don't look that big, but you look at that one in front of the door at Town Hall, that is.
But I've received a lot of positive comments, so.
And they're really
thanks.
starting to hang.
I know.
And the colors are really nice too. Fund 30, we have several budgets for Fund 30. The first one there is
page 122?
119.
19.
Oh, I skipped ahead, I'm sorry.
Public education.
Yeah, we have, back up in the general fund, we had the PEG, or the public education and government. That's an in and an out. That's what we get from the cable provider who provides cable service in Nashville, and I can't even tell you who that is anymore. I think it's Brightspeed, or is it Optimum?
Optimum. Yeah. Optimum.
And the names change almost yearly. It's tough to keep up. But whatever we get for that, that's the expense just goes to the community college for providing the local access channel that's on that cable lineup. Then we had the debt service, and that's for the the fire station too. Is there any other debt service in that, Tressa? That's just
It is,
last payment for something, I think?
yes. Open it up. My computer's still coming up. It's noted in there. Right,
Garbage truck, fire station. Oh, and an entrance payment on the Fellowship Church of $5,000.
Yep.
And we also have in there the $30,000 a year payment to Edgecombe Martin. You know, we got a $3 million loan from Providence and a $300,000 zero interest loan from Edgecombe Martin REC. So all of our debt service is accounted in there. And the garbage truck, I think we have the final payment in this fiscal year for that, and then that's paid for. So all of our debt service is right there, which is nice. It's only 250,000. 600, other towns have far more. So again, the municipal, the MSD is in there at 60,000. The water and sewer, the first part here is 694,539. And that's a reimbursement of admin to the general fund to cover the administrative costs at town hall that are performed for the water and sewer. And then a transfer to Fund 72, which is one of our capital project funds, which we'll get to when we get a little further down. Then we have the water and sewer administration costs, and this is where Samantha and Yvette,
and the new guy, I don't know. the
Brian.
name.
Brian and Lee are all in that. Their wages come out of that. So we got 436,000 there, and you can see how that compared in the past. I think we moved Brian in there. That particular position hadn't been in admin for water and sewer before, but now is. It should be because, you know, that's the Taylor replacement. Then the next page, 120, is water operations, and we have salaries in there. Now, this is one where we had to add some back in here because we had them in the wrong program. But the water and sewer, even with Rocky Mount increasing what we have to pay to them for water and sewer, our rates are sufficient. We're going to be able to, again, take care of that increase, okay? And adding another $7,800 to that didn't put us in the negative for this either, when you look at income versus expenses on the water side. So then continuing on with more of the water operations, well, you get to page 121. At the bottom for water operations, you can see we're budgeting $1,499,000. It's up a little over this year, but again, we had a position in there that wasn't accounted for in the current budget, which is now being accounted for.
Randy, how close are we to getting, is it well 5 up and running?
Excuse me, well 5, we're taking another manganese sample today. We've submitted one to the lab several weeks ago, and it came back elevated, and so we've continued flushing, and that's kind of where we have to stay, is we just have to flush sample, and hope that we can come within 0.05 parts per million. And if not, the next conversation is
Treatment.
options.
And I don't even know, what do you do to remove manganese from the water?
Right now, the conversations that I've had with DEQ are, because it is so high, it is looking that they would require filters.
Like a purification.
So we're not even close to meeting it where we need to be. We're way off.
Closer than we were.
We have to be at 0.05. Our last sample came in at 0.6.
Oh, well, that's not,
Can we just go ahead and install a filter in hopes that it would help us out some? I mean, 'cause we keep doing sample after sample after sample, and this well has been out of commission how long now?
Over a year.
Oh, way over a year.
What's the
We'll have
cost?
to we'll have to, seek out some guidance from an engineering firm and get,
ARM.
quotes on filtration.
It's not
It's not as
inexpensive.
straightforward as it seems.
It's pretty pricey. So if we can flush and get one more sample, maybe this is the one that comes back, and we can put it online.
That would be great.
But if it's taking that long for us to get to that point, my feeling is after a month or so, we're gonna be right back to square one
Yeah.
again.
Well, if this next sample fails, we'll have a proposal to the council for
So we need
putting
to,
filters on it.
we need to start looking at probably digging another well. Now, don't we have a site, south of Nashville that a citizen has already said we could put a well on?
Well, north,
Yeah.
up in the Breedlove.
In the Breedlove, but I thought we had one on the south end.
Off of Cook Road, and that was the one when it was drilled, however many years ago, the water came back as, contaminated.
Oh, dear.
With something that they used to cure tobacco with.
Tobacco beds, it's the old, stuff we treated tobacco bed and the hay with before you done tobacco plants.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come back as.
And then the Breedlove well, have we done any testing on that?
We haven't. I think ARM, we
ARM is willing to,
do a geo on it.
they can do a site assessment and some study of the area for, what the aquifer, the depth, things like that. They've provided a price for the look-see, and that might be a good place to start as well.
So that might be a good possibility for a good well.
I guess looking down the road, the board probably, we need to start considering just digging us a new well somewhere around Nashville.
I agree.
And I know it's not cheap either.
No. Next page is 122, and that's where 820, our sewer, picks up here. And we were able to eliminate 18,000 there by, again,
I need to take this.
some of the rearranging of personnel. We were able to take 18,535 out of that budget. And
Assuming when you did that, the other medical insurance stuff reduced also?
It does.
Okay.
yeah, I just put that's a summary of
Yeah, I got it.
the wages, the FICA, the state retirement, the 401K. When you make a change, all those are affected. So the total of that is 18. Further down, we took some money out of the dues and subscription and $1,592 out of that back to $3,592. So that part of the budget is $2,286,018. And it's down a little bit over what we budgeted for the current year. And year-to-date, we're at 1.7. Actual for '23, we were at 2.3. So we're pretty close. We're budgeting less than we actually spent in FY '23. But again, part of that is juggling around some of the positions and where we're paying them from. Continuing on the next page, 132 then is
123?
I'm sorry, 123 is Fund 40, which is storm sewer. And we got the 145,000 in there, which is approximately what our stormwater fees bring in each year. So most of the line item expense is for drainage projects. That's for ditch cleanings and which we need to get busy on and do some. We got several around that have silted in over time, and we just need to get out there and get them taken care of. So that's it for storm sewer. We had used some of our stormwater money to reimburse the general fund for the Windy Oaks drainage project. All that's finished and over with. And nice to report that project, we haven't had any more flooding on Windy Oak since we put in that 42-inch pipe.
Well, that's great. I'm happy for us and the citizens that live around it.
Very much so. Then continuing on, the next page is 124. I don't know, did you guys want me to wait until Larry gets back, or? He said his meeting wouldn't last but a few minutes.
I think you'll be fine, don't you? I think you'll be
I
fine.
think
We
we've
can
gone
catch him
through
up.
all of the major
Right,
changes
the
so far.
cuts and everything.
And I think the main thing is you got a quorum.
Right.
The Fund 42 is the Powell money, the motor fuel tax that we get. So 150,000 for street improvements and 20,000 for sidewalk, and we can switch that around however the council wants to when we get into this budget. You know, we're doing $500,000 of overlay work in this, that you approve bids on here, so.
Sidewalks that need help.
I know.
So maybe we shift more of that 150 to sidewalks and try and get a little further ahead on sidewalks.
We can do it during the year, or we have to do it before the year?
Well, it's budgeted to be spent, whether you spend it on streets or sidewalks.
Okay.
It's up to the council.
Yeah, you guys can make that change. And then the 478, that's the rest of that Lisa Barnes money for, what's out of that has been spent on engineering.
That's right, so this right here, this 478,000 would become fund balance as of 6/30. So that's the reason why I created this line, but theoretically, it's gonna sit back here and then.
Until we.
And we can use it the next year.
Okay, good.
But it'll be locked for certain.
Right, it's just like the stormwater money. If we don't use the 170, it goes into basically like a savings account, and you use it the following year. What if you have any.
For that purpose, we can't
Right,
change
no,
it.
you can't
We
just
can't
use it on
change it,
something else.
So essentially, it's earmarked.
It is.
So the next fund is Fund 43, and it's a transfer, that's, what is 43, our capital, our water sewer capital project funds. And we're gonna be transferring that to 72 to take care of our portion of those sewer projects that we're gonna be doing. They're not all covered 100% by grant money, mostly, but there's a little bit we have to contribute, and that's where that's coming from.
It's the capital reserve enterprise fund. So it's this money that, again, it's just been accumulating over the years, and we're able to move it to our general fund to cover project costs.
Yep. Fund 44 is the drug seizure money. We didn't budget anything there. We'll see if any comes in before we come up with anything to spend that on. And then,
And that's very specific too on what we can spend it on, right?
yeah, you can't use it to cover reoccurring budgeted expenses.
I think discussion right now is it's time to replace their service revolvers.
Okay,
So we're probably gonna replace their service to 40s with a 9mm.
okay.
Probably will do.
New guns for the police.
So it's like every year we get money from that.
Yeah,
Pretty consistent.
yeah.
Like it's an amount.
Some years more than others, but, you know, one of our police officers has been active in a task force that's local, state, and federal. And we've been participating in those investigations and then those arrests and
So we get part of it.
whatever's confiscated, you know.
Percentage of it.
A percentage, yeah.
And just to put this out there too, with what he's done, it is very rare for a lieutenant to get accepted into the FBI Academy, which is an officer's academy. And our lieutenant got accepted into that, so he'll start that July 7th and be up there for 3 months. But it's a really good thing. So he's not going to the FBI, it's a training that helps him bring his status up as an officer.
Yeah.
That's great for us and them.
It's free, $50,000 worth of schooling.
Wow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Awesome.
What that means?
You like this?
All the big things.
No, I was just gonna ask Chief, along the lines of what you were just talking about with that training and how fortunate we are with that particular asset, if you will. Is that very similar to what we've seen also, to be congruent with, the sheriff department?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I know Sheriff Stone has it, and right many of his administrative officers have it.
Right, right.
But it's very rare for a lieutenant to get accepted. And this was his first appliance for it, and he got into it.
Goodness.
Yeah. That's a great asset for us.
I'm sorry, who's going?
Shockley.
Shockley to the academy? Great. Good.
It's wonderful.
Everybody don't get that shot.
So the next fund is Fund 67.
What page are we, Randy? I'm sorry.
We're on page 124.
All right, thank you.
And that's where we're budgeting the improvements at Glover Park for the project, Part F. That's the only thing in there. And you can see the past projects we've done in the current budget and year-to-date, further to the right there and further down. Then
Just for curiosity, we're gonna charge for that service, right? The park, the water park, we're gonna charge a fee for like,
it's not going to be gated. Well,
gated.
I shouldn't say. Is it going to be fenced?
It won't be fenced fully. There will be a fence, near the highway for safety reasons, some type of half fence there. We were not planning on charging for use of it. It would have like open hours. But if anybody wanted to rent it outside of those open hours for like a birthday party or something like that, we would charge for use of it at that time.
It's a service for our little
It
citizens.
is.
And thankfully, you don't have to staff it. So-
Right.
you don't? Oh,
Don't have what?
I think you touch the stuff and the water comes out, right?
It's
They have sensors.
motion act.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be a button there, you push it, water comes on for 3 minutes and then cuts back off. And
oh, great,
push the
okay.
button.
That's different than Rocky Mounts.
But it brings a lot of joy to little children
And parents,
and parents, yeah.
if you ever had to babysit.
Maybe grandparents too.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say, yeah.
It'd be seasonal, I guess, too, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
And one quick question, what is the completion of that? And the only reason I'm asking, because it's such a fun project that people like to hear good news every now and then.
So you've got until October of 2026 to finish that project.
Ooh, that's too far.
Our goal that I told Stocks was if we could have that splash pad open next summer, that would be phenomenal.
Right.
That's a tight timeline to do that. He needs the majority of this year to finish all the engineering and design of that, and then we'll bid it out at that point. But our goal is to have it open next summer,
Good. That's
Summer
great.
25?
summer of 25.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Randy, we were talking about other stuff. I've had more than one person to get me cornered in the last couple of weeks. Is there any new business or new information pertaining to a possible hotel coming to Nashville? Have we had anybody contact us lately?
We haven't. Now, Nash County has updated that hotel study for Nashville, and that's available if anybody's interested in that. And I know Susan Phelps and Andy Hagee with Nash County are still pursuing developers. We just haven't gotten anybody to come and do anything yet.
The last conversation I think you and I had with a developer on a handshake, he was coming, and then COVID hit.
Right.
Now we can't get in contact with anybody.
Yeah. So,
Maybe once that 95 connection is finished, it would add that much more
yeah,
interest.
it may change the location of the hotel,
Exactly.
but.
Yeah.
But Nash County is still marketing, that down on Evans Drive, behind the Burger King there, for a hotel. And on
the Evans side, that was an option too.
yeah, by Ribeyes, there's
Ribeyes.
room there for one alongside Ribeyes also. So nothing in the works yet, but we're hopeful. And then on page 125 are the other projects, capital improvement projects. The Washington Water Service Line Project, the Regency Estate Sewer Extension Project, and the Regency Lift Station Abandonment Project. Where's Essex?
Where's this Essex Road?
You didn't take it out, you just go to the. Okay, Randy probably didn't delete the line, it should be in, go back to it. It should be, right here.
Yeah, somehow a line got taken out of there. I mean, the total's right,
The total is right.
to 2,949,000.
Okay, we need.
On the computer, I see it here on mine.
You might have a line hidden.
A line hidden, yeah. It's $595,380.
And that's for X.
595, what?
$595,830.
130. This is Essex.
Yeah. It's in that total. I don't know why it didn't print out.
You're missing two lines in here. You're missing the sewer, outfall line.
Yeah,
study
the
as well.
$85,000 for the sewer outfall line study.
But the number is right.
Yeah.
If you look at your original copy, the number didn't change. It's gotta be a line hidden.
Yeah, they're in what we had the last meeting.
Okay, as long as it's still in there, we know you put it in.
I don't know why. A glitch.
No, you got it, the lines gotta be hidden in your spreadsheet.
Don't leave Essex, gotta be low.
Randy didn't know he could have a line on his spreadsheet.
I did.
Now, to Randy's defense, he did say he still needed to talk much to that computer.
Well, it's on this version. Let me look at
Okay.
the, I have two versions of this. One that's printable and the other one that isn't, let me look quick.
That's right, because Essex roads will fall under the, grant. Yeah, along with, Regency.
Regency.
Yeah.
But they, you just, we can come and do something
Yeah, they're in both.
that makes
I
a
don't know.
difference for the
Yeah.
citizens. They've been coming every
But
time.
They have
you're right, it's
They have promised that.
20,
I built the second house
0700,
in
this
Essex
is
Road.
sewer asphalt.
Yeah.
One
So-
is,
When I
If
bought
they wanted to
that
take the
house,
page from the first meeting
yeah. 'cause
and
it's-
replace it with this page,
I could
it's there too.
connect to the city,
So,
and luckily enough, it didn't go bad while I was there, but now we got them going bad, and the city still hadn't put anything out.
I'm glad we're doing that.
So we got to move. They've been very patient. Enough is enough.
so that's the proposed budget. If you go back to page 5 is the summary and you know, that shows where the beginning fund balance for each of our funds, what our income is, what our expenses will be, the difference, and then if there's a negative, where it's going to be covered from. And then the far right hand shows where we're projecting the fund balance to be for the various funds at the end of FY '25, which will be June of 2025.
I just appreciate all the hard work that everybody has put in and fixing this budget so we can, reduce it to 59.
Yeah.
And everybody worked diligently, and it also thrills me that I feel like we're making progress now, getting things done for our citizens and just not sitting on hold every year. So it's just, we're getting things right for everybody a bite at a time. But I am so grateful for every department head, because I would go up there and you would be diligently working, and I say thank you.
I think, the capital improvement project, we're really going to be doing some nice projects this fiscal year.
And we just pray we get some more wonderful grants, Randy. And I'm just praying for a miracle for a lot of things, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Did you include, random houses in town, like last time?
As far as taking them down,
Yeah, is that included in here?
we have minimum housing in
No, I'm
there.
talking about the addresses of our addresses.
Oh,
Is that still in here?
Yes, we
Okay.
updated.
what page is that on?
I guess I'm talking
Oh,
about the
yeah,
tax.
yeah. We're dropping the tax
Yeah.
from 61,
To 59.
59.
It's on page 72.
Is that in the new part you gave us?
yeah, it's in the new part.
Those are the updated numbers with the difference in the taxes.
It's on page 74.
One of ours almost doubles.
Yeah. I mean, Edgecombe County, they had a similar reevaluation to Nash County, and Edgecombe County, I was reading in the paper, they're still looking at increasing their tax rate on top of the reevaluation.
So I think everyone's done a fantastic job in doing the reduction that we were able to do. I think in years going forward, we still have to look at reducing it again.
Well, if you look on page 73, I revised some of the projections for where our taxes, our property tax will increase, and the 4-year development projections for FY '26. We should be bringing in, with the developments, the houses being built in Bradford Place, Birchwood, Cardinalwood, Breedlove, and the Liberty Townhouses. With those houses coming on, as the developers are proposing, have said they will build out those, we should get $62,000, almost $63,000 more in FY '26 over what we are projecting for FY '25. And then for '27, another $84,000. For FY '28, another $87,000, and FY '29, another $90,000. So a 4-year increase of $333,000 with those new developments coming on.
And that's,
Hopefully that's a little clearer this time than it was last time.
that's nice, but at the same time, with more people, you're gonna need more policemen, you're gonna need more.
We will.
But we still, need
But-
to always look at how we can reduce it.
Yeah.
But we can't cut it so low that we can't provide the safety and the services that they need.
And, these numbers don't include the Shell building with Nash County out there. As soon as somebody buys that, people are going to be paying
How
tax.
about the new
Or
industry
Project
groups?
Lego, lab builds or build labs. They're looking at almost $10 million of machinery and equipment investment, which all that's going to be taxable. And
Right.
we had a meeting with him yesterday, and he wanted to start building in September. And we kind of had
Pretty aggressive.
it's not going to
Yeah.
quite that quick, and he was disappointed. But there could be other commercial development that comes on that these numbers don't even project how that's going to impact.
Randy, on page 74, for the town property tax. The address that's close to me, that's 739, is that an accurate number? For the tax increase year?
Which line is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, line?
That is your house, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my house. You estimating tax to go up that high?
Based on the value they put on your house,
Damn, y'all gonna make me move.
yeah. I had a conversation with somebody else similar earlier this week, and they didn't, they got the notice of the reevaluation, and they weren't thinking it was that significant, and I pulled it up while we were talking, and, oh my goodness, was the reaction.
That doesn't even look normal compared to the rest of them, so I think that number's out of place.
Well, that's based on the number that the county gave.
I know.
You have the right to appeal.
Right.
Is that still available? I thought it was over.
I think it's
Might be
over
over.
It's
now.
over now.
You had the right to
Had
appeal.
Exactly.
I should have a bill. Okay.
Any other questions for Randy or comments about our budget?
Well, I think you guys, speaking to all the department heads and the people that are here, I think you've done a great job of trying to get it in here. And as I said at the last meeting, citizens are gonna say something about the church purchase. But even, and if we'd have stayed with where we were with taxes or even had gone up, that would have been hard to fight against trying to explain why. So with the church purchase and reduction in the taxes, I don't think anybody's gonna have anything to squawk about.
I don't either. And then when they realize by purchasing that church, we've probably saved them about 11 million down
That's
the
true,
road.
but I'm still concerned. I'm still waiting on a upfit comparison of what we're gonna be confronted with, because the 500 is only just a start.
Yeah, that's the purchase.
That's just the purchase. We're talking about elevators. Are all the AC units in good shape? Is the roof there in good shape?
Everything's been positive so far.
So the roof is okay?
Yeah, we haven't gotten,
Yeah, so we haven't got the report back from Dawson on
That's what I'm saying.
this.
We haven't got the report back yet.
No, we haven't. Just talking with the people they sent out there to assess it, they saw no major red flags, but again, we haven't seen it in any type of
Okay.
official report yet.
What would and I direct this to Lee, what is it gonna cost us to, run our city water and sewer out there? Cause that's something we're gonna probably do in-house?
Down the road.
well, it depends how you want to do it. Kevin Varnell has a cost estimate, but he wants to present that. He doesn't just want to give it to you.
Okay.
I mean, there's a 2-inch water line out there already that we can tie onto and run up to the building and get by.
How long do we think that we would get by on that?
Right.
If we had to do that, it's got a good well. We'd start off using the well, and if we have problems, then we can always run that water line up, which would buy us time then too. But Kevin said, you're not going to run a new 2-inch water line out that way to serve it. If you're going to do it, you're going to put a 6-inch or an 8-inch water main out there. And the same with the sewer. If the septic goes bad, we can put in a small grinder pump and put in a small diameter main up White Oak Road till we reach the nearest manhole and we get by that way. But again, if you're going to spend the money to do water or sewer, you're going to do it large enough so that you have capacity there to bring in and serve additional properties.
We got a 2-inch line going out that far, going out there, but then you don't want to feed a 2-inch into a 4-inch, into a 6-inch, because that's.
No, you would, I mean, if we're going to put new infrastructure out there, it's going to be large enough to pick up all properties along there. And that's going to be expensive.
He's gonna give us a cost.
And there might be a grant.
So there could be.
I guess my point is, like, the congregation was pretty large. That church
yeah.
was well used, and they were able to work with what they had with no problems. So I don't even think this is something that we would be looking at next year. It would probably be,
not.
10 years from now.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get an assessment on like the septic system and stuff that's out there
When we get our report.
when we get the report, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sure when they added that gym, I mean, they had to build that thing to support it. They're not looking at if you're only there on Sundays.
Right.
Building code is looking at it as if you're at capacity 7 days.
Every day.
And we were told they did add on to the septic system when the gymnasium part of that was built. So, but, there may be opportunity. There's available land between that and back toward town that we may have a developer interested in putting a residential subdivision there. If so, we could share in the cost of getting the water and sewer out that far.
And there are people looking at that property.
So, what I've been told, yes. I don't know who they are, but, so, one thing I did want to tell you guys, last week when you guys wanted the tax rate and we knew we had to cut $97,000 out of this, I had every one of the department heads in my office within 2 hours offering up. They had already gone back and taken a look where they could make changes. And I just appreciate that very much. It didn't all come upon myself or Tressa to have to make those. Everybody came forth with a little. Chief Joyner was the last one, but he was a little busy last week.
Just a little.
Normal day.
But anyway, again, I'm just so proud of every department head that we have and their passion for helping our little Nashville be the best town possible. And I'd like to say to each one of you council members how much I appreciate the spirit that you've come to work on this budget and how well you've studied it and looked at it and had a heart for everything we could do to help our citizens. And I just want you to know I appreciate it. Any other comments? If not, do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
Good Lord.
So moved.
Move to adjourn.
Is that a second?
Second.
Somebody must have a plane to catch.
All those, I gotta get on that plane. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.